I'm about to share one of the most powerful techniques for transforming your reality. This isn't widely discussed, and I'll explain why later. But listen carefully. Not everyone can use it effectively. It's just a 3-word question. For anyone who genuinely wants to change their life, for anyone who doesn't want this year to mirror all the previous years, for anyone tired and ready for authentic change, prepare yourself. Ready your heart and mind. Get ready to receive. I want you to be brutally honest with yourself for a moment. Imagine you know someone personally and they've just achieved something unbelievable. What's the very first thing that runs through your mind? How did they do it? Right? If you're being real, one of the first questions you'd ask yourself is how were they able to pull that off, especially if you've tried before and failed. It stings even more. Flip it around. Imagine someone did something terrible. Maybe you saw it on the news, maybe you knew them personally, or maybe a friend told you about it. What's one of the first questions you'd ask yourself? It would be, how could they do such a thing? Do you see the revelation here? How many times in your life have you wondered how someone was able to do something? How many times have you asked yourself that same question inside? You can't even count, can you? And this is where hidden power comes in. Because that very same natural question you've been asking all your life is the same question that can unlock your desire. Anytime you ask that question, how did they do it, or how could they do such a thing, something immediate happens. Your mind starts searching. Your subconscious kicks into gear looking for reasons, answers, explanations. Here's the secret. That same automatic response can be turned inward, not about someone else's success, not about someone else's mistake, but about your own desired outcome. You activate your subconscious in the same way. But now it's not looking for proof of failure. It's not chasing disappointment. It's chasing the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. Let me make this as clear as possible because your breakthrough starts the moment you truly get this. Imagine you've achieved your greatest desire, the very thing you've prayed for, dreamed of, longed for. It's finally yours. Now picture this. Someone who doubted you, someone who opposed you, maybe even someone who laughed at the thought of you ever reaching this point. They see you standing in your victory. What's the very first thing running through their mind? It's the same question every human being asks when faced with something unbelievable. How did you do it? They can't help it. Their mind races. They wonder. They question. And do you see what's happening? That question instantly assumes it's already done. Here's the revelation. That question, how did I, when you ask it about your own desire, it bypasses resistance. It activates the subconscious in the same way your mind automatically chases an answer when someone else succeeds. Except now it's not about them. It's about you. Your own wish fulfilled. Your own miracle complete. The 3 words are how did I? Not will I ever. Not can I. Not when will it happen. No, it's asked in wonder. It's asked in gratitude. It's asked in the past tense as if it's already done. How did I become so financially independent? How did I land that dream job so easily? How did I end up in the most loving relationship? Do you feel the difference? You're not wishing anymore. You're not begging. You're assuming. You're amazed. You're standing in the end and looking back in wonder. Here's the beauty of it. You're not looking for a logical answer. That's not the point. The question itself carries the seed of fulfillment. It plants the feeling of success, astonishment, gratitude. And your subconscious, which doesn't argue, doesn't question, simply accepts this must be real. Now remember earlier I told you not everyone can do this. Here's why. Knowing what the technique is isn't enough. You can listen to me explain it. You can nod your head. You can even say, yeah, that makes sense. But if you stop there, if you never use it, if you never feel it, nothing changes. Here's what we're about to do. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this step by step right now. Because your breakthrough isn't in hearing it. Your breakthrough is in doing it. Phase 1, the question. First, I want you to choose one desire. Just one. Not 10, not 5. One. Because here's the truth. Your subconscious doesn't respond well to scattered energy. It responds to focus. Pick that one thing that matters most right now. The thing that if it came true would change everything for you. Got it? Good. Now we're going to flip that desire into a question of amazement, a question that already assumes it's done. It starts with 3 words. How did I? That's it. Simple but powerful. Let me give you a few examples. How did I become so financially free? How did I land my dream job so easily? How did I end up in the most loving relationship? How did I turn my health around so quickly? How did I create so much happiness in my life? Do you see how each question is framed in the past tense? Not will I ever. Not can I. Not when will it happen. No, it's already happened. And you're standing in amazement, looking back at it as though it's complete. So right now, I want you to take your desire and craft your own how did I question. Make it yours. Make it specific. Let it feel personal. Because once you have that question, you're holding the exact key to bypass resistance and speak directly to your subconscious. Phase 2, the feeling. Here's the key. Don't look for an answer. Don't try to figure it out. Don't run to logic. That's not the point. Instead, let the question just float like a feather drifting in the air, like a song playing softly in the background of your mind. You don't force it. You don't chase it. You simply allow it to be there. And as that question rests inside you, notice what begins to happen. Something subtle, something quiet, a shift. The moment you say, how did I, something stirs. Your mind relaxes. Your shoulders release. Your heart opens just a little more. And then it arrives. The feeling. It's amazement. It's wonder. It's that soft smile you can't hold back when something beautiful happens unexpectedly. Think for a moment the last time life surprised you with goodness. Maybe it was a text message you weren't expecting. Maybe it was a check in the mail. Maybe someone looked you in the eyes and told you words you'd been longing to hear. Do you remember that moment? That rush of gratitude, that spark of astonishment, that breath of relief, all woven together into a quiet joy. That's the exact feeling you're stepping into right now. Listen closely. That feeling is not a side effect. It's not an afterthought. It's not decoration. That feeling is the secret. It is the bridge. It is the very language your subconscious speaks. And when you linger here, when you let that feeling expand inside of you, you're no longer on the outside wishing. You're on the inside remembering. You are standing in the reality where your desire is already complete. It's already done, already yours. So breathe it in. Let the amazement stay with you. Let the gratitude swell. Let the joy radiate through every part of your being. This is the state spoken of throughout ancient wisdom. This is the key. When you feel it deeply enough, the outer world has no choice but to match it. Phase 3, the state. Now that the feeling has risen in you, here's where it all comes together. I want you to let that feeling wrap around you, almost like a warm coat, almost like stepping into a new skin. This is not just a passing emotion. This is a state of being. When you hold the question, how did I, and you let the amazement flow, you're no longer outside your desire looking in. You are inside it, living it, breathing it, owning it. See yourself already there. The bank account full. The dream job secured. The love you long for smiling back at you. And here's the wonder. You don't have to strain to believe it. You don't have to force yourself to imagine. The very question, how did I, already assumes it's real. It bypasses resistance and gently settles you into the end result. Stay here. Don't rush. Don't argue. Just let yourself be the one who already has it. This is the state of the wish fulfilled. And as you rest in it, you're doing the only work that matters, accepting it as done. Because once you occupy the state, life rearranges. The outer world bends to the inner assumption, and what was once just a desire becomes memory. For the next 7 nights, I want you to do this right before bed. Take the first step right now. This is your declaration. That's you planting the seed. Finish the sentence with your own desire. How did I become so financially free? How did I land my dream job so easily? How did I end up in the most loving relationship? Put it in writing. Speak it into existence. The reason this technique remains relatively unknown despite its power is that it requires something most people aren't willing to give: sustained emotional commitment. It's easy to ask the question once. It's easy to feel the feeling for 30 seconds. What's difficult is maintaining the state, returning to it repeatedly, dwelling in the assumption until it becomes more real than current circumstances. Most people want techniques that work instantly with minimal effort. This isn't that. This is a rewiring of your fundamental relationship to reality. When you ask, how did I, in genuine wonder, you're not trying to manifest something. You're remembering something. There's a profound difference. Manifestation implies you're reaching for something outside yourself, something you don't have, something that needs to come to you. Remembering implies it's already complete. You're simply recalling the journey from the end point. This shift in perspective changes everything. You're no longer in a state of lack or desire. You're in a state of fulfilled gratitude, looking back at the path that led you here. The question works because it engages your imagination in a specific direction. Your imagination is the creative faculty that shapes reality. Most people use their imagination to worry, to rehearse failure, to anticipate disaster. They become masters at visualizing what they don't want. This technique redirects that same faculty toward what you do want, but with a crucial twist. You're not imagining the future. You're remembering a past that exists in the eternal now of consciousness. Time, as you experience it, is a construct of the perceiving mind. The past exists as memory. The future exists as anticipation. But consciousness itself exists only now. When you ask how did I and settle into the feeling, you're collapsing the apparent distance between desire and fulfillment. You're occupying the state where they're already identical. This isn't wishful thinking. This is recognizing that your experience of reality is always mediated through consciousness, and consciousness can assume any state. The resistance most people encounter with this technique comes from conflicting assumptions. On one level, they're asking how did I and generating the feeling of accomplishment. On another level, they're still assuming they don't have it, still looking at circumstances that contradict the desired state, still operating from the belief that external conditions determine internal states. The technique only works when you reverse that causality, when you maintain the internal state regardless of external appearance, when you trust that consciousness is primary and circumstances are secondary. This is where persistence becomes essential. The first time you do this, you might feel a brief shift, a moment of relief or excitement. But then you open your eyes and nothing has changed in your physical world. This is the test. Can you continue to maintain the state of already having it even when the mirror of physical reality hasn't yet reflected the change? Can you live from the end before the middle appears? Most people fail here. They try the technique, see no immediate results, and conclude it doesn't work. But that's like planting a seed, checking for growth an hour later, seeing nothing, and declaring gardening is a fraud. Seeds germinate underground before anything visible appears. Your assumption must be held in consciousness before it manifests in circumstance. The gap between planting and harvest is where faith operates, not blind belief but sustained assumption, dwelling in the state as though it's already real because, in consciousness, it is. The power of the question lies in its ability to bypass the intellectual mind that argues, analyzes, and doubts. When someone achieves something remarkable and you automatically think how did they do it, you're not debating whether they did it. You're accepting it happened and seeking to understand the means. The accomplishment is already assumed. When you turn that same question toward yourself regarding your own desire, you're smuggling in the assumption of fulfillment past the guards of doubt and disbelief. This is why the feeling is so crucial. The feeling is the signature of the state. When you generate genuine amazement, gratitude, and wonder about your desire as though it's already complete, you're tuning your consciousness to the frequency where it exists. Reality responds not to your words, not to your actions, but to your state. Your state broadcasts constantly like a radio signal, and circumstances align with whatever frequency you're transmitting. Change the state, change the signal, change the reality.